here. Good morning. Well, this is Nuisance. Nuisance got out yesterday, and they just been out maybe 10 minutes, and she's out again. So I always know who Nuisance is. Nuisance is going in there with Handicap because the rotation of them getting grass is taking place today. But let me show you what happened to Junior. Alright, I'm gonna get you some food in just a second. Back in jail. So if you watch my videos, you know I had an issue with the 3 roosters. Never had a problem. That was Handicap, Junior, and Senior. Now Handicap got moved to the coop where Nuisance is at to protect him so he could eat good and just live a good life. And then Junior and Senior has always been together. Junior was Senior's son. Now Senior's been an excellent rooster. I mean, I could not ask for a better rooster. He doesn't try to fight me. He watches the girls. I watched him when I let him out one time outside the coop. He would literally, when they got too far, lead them back to the coop. And so he's been a very good rooster. But Senior's gonna rule, okay? And Senior was ruling. In other words, he would just watch the girls, and he was not gonna let Junior overtake the wild thing with the girls. You know, he was protective. Very good rooster. Then suddenly one day, Junior gets it in his mind that he's gonna rule. But that's not gonna go well with Senior. Handicap is into the other coop. He's building confidence. He's sectioned off. His confidence has just grown. They used to always run him away from the food. He was skittish, and so now he's got a lot of confidence. Well, Junior and Senior, you know, they got along. Of course, Senior would not let him go into the coop or get too close to the girls. But then Senior had started letting him have liberty. And he started letting him, because he noticed that, I watched them, he noticed that, hey, he's watching after the girls, it's a good thing, he's protecting, he's being a good rooster. So then they was getting along, but everything was going cool, because I could tell with Senior was like, hey, this is not a bad ordeal, you know, more protection, more the merrier. And they did excellent together. But then Junior gets it in his mind, he's going to take Senior out. So they didn't spur, but what happened was that Junior wrestled and overtook Senior to the point that if I hadn't been there, I think that he would have possibly killed him with just exhaustion. And that's what was taking place. Well, I kept them separated. Junior was into jail. This is a chicken tractor, until I tried to figure out what I was going to do. And then after about a week maybe or so, I took him and put Junior back in there with the flock outside into the poultry netting. Got along great, everything's going cool. And then one morning I got busy, and I decided to let him stay in the coop a little bit longer until I was doing something in the greenhouse, and it'll be fine. I heard him in there, it was nothing unusual. But when I opened the coop up, both of them was bloodied up. So here, Junior, and I noticed that when Junior came out the door, see, Junior came out the door first. And usually it's always Senior coming out the door first, Junior last. But Junior had decided that he was going to be the leader. So then I went and looked for Senior, and I thought, oh my God, because he's always first out. He leads the girls out. And I thought, well, my God, you know, I see him Junior all blooded up. I said, well, I just knew he was going to be dead because it was just so unusual. Well, Senior was into the coop, scared, and so that put me in a place again of separating them. Now, I tell people all the time, you got to protect the flock. It's your responsibility. Predators going to come. It's only a matter of time. And so Junior got put back into jail, into the chicken tractor. And my plan was at one point is put it inside the poultry netting, but I didn't. And was that a good thing? No, because see, I decided, you know, this is not going to work. Okay, I got to come up with a plan. Maybe I can try to give him away. He's American breast, full-blooded, and good breed, good rooster. You know, really, they're just excellent roosters. But Junior wanted to lead all of them. And if you know, if you got a king, the king is not stepping down from his throne to let another one rise up. But at the same ordeal, Senior was getting weak. I would say weaker. He's just a weak. He's older rooster. He's an old rooster. He's 4 years old now, so he's older, and he's old. It reminds me. I said in one of my videos, like queen bees into a hive. There can only be one queen. If one is not putting out fertile, gets weaker, whatever, not doing the hive right, they will raise up a new queen and replace that queen because it's not strong enough for the hive. It's not going to make the hive stronger. And then when that queen cell is birthed out, is hatched out, then that new queen that rises up will fight the other queen, and it fights to death to replace the old queen, or either of the bees will kill the older queen. Before the fact that they need it for strength into the colony. And it's kind of like that's what I saw here. It was just like, you know, Senior, and then Senior was just getting, he just couldn't hold it. You know, he's just old. He's just a gentle rooster too, but he just couldn't hold it. So I found them, they was doing good, and I found them wrestling again. Junior overtook him. And again, and I said, okay, this is it, because this is not going to work. So Junior goes back into the chicken tractor. I tell people all the time, you gotta have your coop situated to where you can close them up at nighttime, because predators, raccoons, foxes, possums, dogs, coyotes are going to come. And so I came out here to feed up the flock, get everybody situated, came over here to feed Junior, to give him food, make sure he's got water. And I already made up my mind, so I can't get rid of him. I don't like, you know, having, I mean, you can move this has got wheels, so it can be moved, but it's only a matter of time, at nighttime, or dark time. And so now we see the evidence of Junior. So when I came out here, my heart just sunk. It just sunk. I mean, I could literally feel it just sunk or sink. And so what happened was, it looked like maybe a possum. Whatever it was, it didn't dig a hole, so it couldn't have been, I don't think, a fox. It could have been. Whatever it was, I don't think was too big. But see, chickens can't see very well at nighttime. They can't see when it's dark. I mean, the darker it gets, the less they can see. And that's why if you're going to do something with your flock, do it at nighttime, because it's easier to catch them. So whatever it was squeezed itself in there. Didn't dig a hole. It killed Junior. Pulled Junior out. Took him probably about 50 feet away. And I could see the feathers leading that way, and I found Junior. Now usually you can tell what predator is. Like I believe it's a raccoon would take the head and leave the body. It severed the head, but it ate the breast. I'm thinking maybe, and I could be wrong. I mean, animals gonna do what they do, because everybody loves chicken. That's the thing. You got to protect your flock. You got to get them situated. You got to give them away. You got to do something. And so it, you know, it ate what it wanted, and that's nature, right? So they usually, like, if you have a problem with a rooster, you just let them go and let nature take its course. I couldn't do that. It's just hard for me to do that. So when I saw this, because I just said, you know, it's kind of like, it reminds me of if you go and say, okay, I'm gonna harvest that corn tomorrow, then all the raccoons will come and eat all the corn. I said, okay, I've got to process him. Okay, so I process Cornish broilers, meat birds. But I'm not into my layers. I let them go and I try to give them away because they've been good to me and I want to be good to them. Of course, you know, everything has a life expand. And I never have really had the time or really wrap my mind around it. To process chickens, to call them to, you got to get out of your mindset. You got to understand this is your responsibility. This is why they're here. This is the nature. This is what you got to do, and you really have to get out of your mindset because you're the adult and it's your responsibility to do what you got to do, whether it's for your survival or for their survival. And when I seen this, I said I'll never do this again. I would never. I made up my mind. I said, okay, I'm gonna have to put him in the freezer camp. As much as I hate to do that, but I need to get out of my mindset, and I need to go ahead and do it before something comes and gets him. Very next day, this is what takes place, because you got to have them shut up. Now I have another coop, a smaller place that I have put injured chickens, and let me show you that. So this is old dog kennel. Now I know my stuff is not pretty like everybody else's, and I really don't care because I'm into if it works, right? Okay, so it's kind of a mess right at the moment, but you see it's sitting off a cinder block, up off the ground on cinder blocks, and it's the biggest part's at the top, and I just got stuff put up there, 6 mil plastic, keeping the rain and usually there've been other stuff around. Make sure that they don't get cold or rained on. So I had a American breast male that I wanted to keep as a breeder, and he was beautiful. Everything about him was just gorgeous. His DNA was perfect, and I took and I would let him roam around. And you know, sometimes you can get busy, you just don't think straight. But I wasn't thinking straight that until I came out here one morning. And usually I would be out here before daylight, and I would shut him up at nighttime here. And most time I was out here. 98% of the time I'd be out here. And most time when I'm out here, there's no predators, there's no chicken hogs, everything's cool. But at nighttime I would shut him up. Now mind you, at the bottom here, it's only like 2 inches by 4 inches. And so I would shut him up, he would roost up there, and it was just a temporary place. What I should have did is put Senior in here and put that one into the females, but it didn't dawn on me until I came out. I was canning sweet potatoes. I said, I got one more batch, I'm gonna do this before I go out there, and I finished it up. I was out here a little after 7 a.m. into the morning, and I forgot to shut the rooster up. Had 2 grandkids in baseball, 2 games, got in late, taking stuff in, and just totally was tired, totally forgot to shut him up. And then that morning I was walking out and I said, you know, did I shut him up? Surely I did, I you know, but I didn't. And so that happened. So you've got to make sure you do whatever it takes to protect your flock. Because not only the roosters protect it, but at nighttime, the flock is defenseless. And so I will never do that again. I will, if I have a problem, the problem's got to be solved quickly. And that's what upset me, because when they started their ordeal of who was going to rule here, I said, you know, I knew at heart what I had to do, and I didn't want to do it. But the worst part about it is that, to me, is that the reason I hate predators getting the flock or the animals, which I don't usually have any problem, because I do everything possible. It might not be pretty, but it works, and that's what I'm functioning off on. It works. One day I'll get more done to it, but when I can get to it. And so, you know, the functionality of a coop is got to work for you. It really has to work to protect the flock. And I said, I'll never do this again. I would never, because it's just the fact that my mind goes that I'm thinking about the fear that animal must have felt, the panic. I believe in protecting them. The panic it must have felt. Surely it was quick, but it was just a point. And so I just want to share this video with you, what happened to Junior. It is a sad day, but it's life. You know, it is life. It is nature. And that's just the way it is. And I always say, everybody loves chicken. Everybody loves chicken. We love chicken. We love chicken eggs. We love chicken, you know, and the other animals love chicken too. So be sure to keep your flock safe. So it is what it is, and now we have to move forward. See you on to the next video. So yep. And oh, another thing, so yesterday, because see, once a predator comes, they come, and I haven't had any problems. I've seen possums, I've seen foxes run in the distance, I've seen raccoon tracks, you know, going constantly around the greenhouse. That's why I tell people, you know, when you put your organic fertilizer out, you know, you've got to watch the predators too. You know, watch the animals, because they might want to dig it up. And so my greenhouse is shut off at nighttime. But I forgot what I was going to say. What was I going to say? I forgot what I was going to say. But anyways, because I'm just trying to think about things to help you out, to you know, going off on experience. I've had chickens ever since I was probably 7, 8, you know, a long time. And I left home, I got chickens. I just always had chickens. It's just a part of me. But you got to protect your flock. You got to do, oh, I know what I was going to say. So yesterday, so I've been thinking about checking. You have to check your electrical. I got electric fence around my coop. Even though they're shut up inside at nighttime, I still have the electric fence going. So I checked it. I was trying to find if there's a problem, because I have a little tester, and then I got a new tester, but it's basically for high voltage fencing. So that's what you got to randomly make sure that you test just because you put it up don't mean it's working all the time. Let me show you what one predator did to the poultry netting. So one day I came out here in the electric fence. I tested it. I randomly tested it, and I noticed one day I came out here, and something you could tell by the fencing here, by the way it was shaped, the way it was moved, it looked like an animal tried. Hey Betsy, oh, you got my finger. I don't have any treat for you. I don't have any eggs, honey. Okay, so I noticed by the netting that the shape of it, that something tried to get through, and it went to another spot and tried to get, and finally it quit, because this is pulsating, and when it pulses, it'll stop and then it'll go again. So whatever was trying to get in, it finally gave up. But I kept saying I need to go and check my fencing, and I put it off. I need to check my fencing, even though I had them shut up. And this is the damage of a predator that was determined to get in. Now I tried to fix it back up. I noticed the voltage was a little bit in probably about 8-foot section was weaker than the rest of it. But yesterday I was going around, and I was trying to find my tester that I use. It's just a little handheld tester. I lay it to it, and it lets me know if it's live or not, and if it's pulsating. How many times it pulsates lets me know how strong this fence is, or my electrical fence around my coop. So these are great. I love these. It keeps them in boundaries, keeps them, because these chickens, if they get out, they're everywhere by themselves. And that's why it's good to have a couple of roosters. And the breed was doing great until Junior decided he wanted to be king, and then it didn't work anymore. So thank you so much for watching. Betsy, you got anything to say? You got anything to say? Huh? Not no more? That's my girl. See you on to the next video. You ready? You ready for something else? You ready for your candy? You are. You ready? Hey. Hey. Hey.